What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp here for the Wrestling Inc. podcast, March 17th edition, here with sort of a familiar face. You all see him on Mondays and the occasional Thursday when he is not belligerent, getting crunk. Many of the terms that I use for the typical Raj, party Raj, we'll call him. But we get the Thursday night edition of Raj, which is somewhere in between the professional Monday edition and the getting loose Saturday edition.
Yeah. It's Thursdays can be tough. My daughters have a bunch of stuff, so I try to make it when I can, but I was able to get here tonight.
Rob has the night off. He'll be joining us again next Wednesday, of course. Also, for those of you who are normal to the Wednesday show, it looks like we're going to be moving that show, at least the week of WrestleMania, to Friday night for post NXT TakeOver. We figure that would kind of encompass everything non-Raw, so we have that. But quite a bit of big news coming out this week, Raj. It seems that Sting may be hanging it up.
Yeah. I'm actually not surprised. I kind of figured that when it came out how serious his injury was. So, there's not much left to accomplish. WWE, I feel like they really dropped the ball on making a Sting Undertaker match happen. It could have happened last year at WrestleMania. It's one of those, it doesn't matter if it was going to be a great athletic contest or anything. It would have been a cool match to see. It's somewhat of a dream match that they could have made happen, and they dropped the ball on it. But man, what a career that guy's had. He's, a lot of people will point out the negatives, I guess, as far as, he wasn't, a super over draw, but he was as big as a draw, in any territory where he was in. He was usually, the biggest star, or one of the, top three biggest stars there. And, for a career his long, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, Sting is one of my favorites ever, especially in that era where you grow up as a kid. When I did, Sting was just one of those guys you looked up to. He had the colorful face paint, and right around the time when I was graduating basically from Nickelodeon to MTV, Sting had changed his appearance, and it went from the colorful Sting to the black and white Crow Sting, which, reflected a lot of teenagers and people who were changing their attitudes as well. I thought that was perfect. Very glad that he at least got a little bit of a WWE run. Not, ideally, what we say ideally, not what we would think, but then we complain when the WWE puts older stars over their younger guys, which they do way too much. Him losing to Seth Rollins was the right move. I don't know about him losing to Triple H, but glad that Sting got his WWE run. And yeah, it's a shame that it had to happen this way. I would have loved to have seen it happen at WrestleMania 32 as he's going into the Hall of Fame. He retires after his match with The Undertaker, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to occur. Do you think he's going to wait until the Hall of Fame to announce it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it just makes his speech that much bigger. I think, they don't leak these things to TMZ and stuff by accident. Every week the Hall of Fame inductee is leaked to another news outlet, even though, we've known most of the Hall of Fame inductees for months. So they leak it, and I think it was done for a reason, let people know. And I think he's going to wait till the Hall of Fame to do it.
Something else I wanted to ask, do you think they changed up some of the Hall of Fame inductees based on the leaked names?
I don't think so. I think, the leaked names, the only one that hasn't been announced yet has been Regis Philbin and JBL. They probably are still going to announce Regis. They usually have one celebrity, and they haven't announced one yet. As far as JBL, not sure what happened there. I'm guessing with him and Ron Simmons inducting the Godfather. He's going to be on stage, so they're just going to hold it off, till next year. But for the most part, the original list of names was not enough for a full class. So,
but because Stan Hansen and the Big Boss Man, I don't think were on that leaked list. But right. They're going in as well. Jacqueline also announced this week. We talked a little bit about that. I think that's perfectly fine. I think that she did a lot. Cruiserweight champion, women's champion, broke a lot of racial barriers. And up until a few years ago, she was still active in TNA.
Yeah, and she looked almost exactly the same.
Yeah,
she stayed in great shape, and yeah, I'm glad to see it. You know, as far as women that are missing in the Hall of Fame, Sable's a big one, but this year being in Texas, you know, I think Jacqueline made the most sense, and then do Sable another year, which I don't know. I don't know if there are some issues with that, because it's weird how they never bring up Sable, you know, on TV, and I don't know if that's like a request from Brock, like he doesn't want them bringing her up or what. But
well, if a guy like that, also one of your big meal tickets, you know, doesn't want clips of, and I mean, let's be real, there's not a lot of stuff that can be shown of Sable that, one, doesn't involve her primarily naked, or two, doesn't involve her ex-husband. So, like, what could they do? Show her leaving Triple H in '96 or something like that? There's not a lot there. And maybe that is a request. I had never really thought about that before, but yeah, that's kind of interesting. Also, Bray Wyatt's out with an injury right now. Do we know how severe it is, or if it is severe?
The only one who's really been reporting on it has been Dave Meltzer, and he's you know, all he said was it won't keep him out too long, but you know, he'll be out for a little bit. I don't know if that means he misses Mania. There really aren't, you know, with the card they have right now, it's a pretty full card, so I don't know where he would fit in anyway, other than the Andre Battle Royal. But yeah, that's it looks like he'll you know get rehab that injury and be back pretty soon. It's sounding like he won't need surgery if he's going to be back, you know, for the summer and the fall.
Something else I wanted to ask, because Jacqueline being put in the Hall of Fame was it got mixed reactions from people. How many, you know, they try to put a woman in every year. How many more can they put in? We mentioned Sable, obviously Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Who else? We're going to start getting into some of the current or more recent females soon.
Yeah, I mean, Cyndi Lauper should be in, at least, I mean, in the celebrity wing.
Yeah,
she should definitely be in there. But yeah, then you start getting into the more current generation after that, you know, with and even then, you know, there's no obvious names that stand out. You know, Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler, they were all, you know, decent stars, but I don't think anyone thinks of them as Hall of Fame worthy. But that's probably where they'd be going next.
I had somebody arguing with me that Tori Wilson belonged in there before Jacqueline, and I'm like, what did she do?
Yeah. I mean, I think she was arguably a bigger star.
Oh yeah, but I mean, did she do anything? Was she a part of anything big?
Yeah, anything. People mentioning Mickie James, I agree with that.
That's a good one.
AJ Lee, Michelle McCool will happen for obvious reasons. You know, whether you don't think she deserves it or not, she will.
I could see
until I don't see that happening anytime soon.
I don't either. I could see Beth Phoenix going in just as one of those fringe people who, and let's be real, if things were booked a little better, Beth Phoenix could have been way bigger, and she could still wrestle today if she wanted to. She just chooses not to, and she's about to hit that age where people would not return anyway. But you know, she's off having kids with Edge, so. Yeah. But I think she's a fringe candidate as well. I completely forgot about Mickie James, but people are absolutely right. And somebody just mentioned Ivory.
Yeah, Ivory. That's another fringe one. Vicky Guerrero. Someone mentioned that. That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that one. We had SmackDown tonight, and Raj, I got to tell you, my heart was warmed a little bit. Did you watch SmackDown?
I skimmed through it. Yeah.
Dean Ambrose toured Cincinnati.
Saw that. Yeah,
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I'm biased, obviously. I'm right in between Cincy and Lexington. I loved it. He didn't just show Cincinnati. He showed the greater Cincinnati area, like Covington and Newport, things like that. So that was really cool. I liked that. Also, what I really liked, that Roman Reigns promo.
Yeah, it was all right.
I liked it. 2 minutes long.
Yeah, it was
all he
fine.
needed to say.
I wouldn't say it's good. It was fine. You know,
I thought it was excellent. because he just showed up and he said, Triple H, you're still the man, but I'm eating your catering in your building, and then I'm going to kick your ass. And that was it.
It's just such a scripted line, that the thing
Yeah.
of eating your catering, that it just doesn't, I don't know, just doesn't come across as he's naturally saying it. He's saying that off the cuff, you know?
It comes across as Triple H wanting everybody to make sure that they knew he paid for catering.
Exactly.
So here's the thing. Do you think that Triple H has positioned himself as a babyface in this feud for any like personal reason? Because
I think he personally can't help it a lot of times. Look, he he was acting like a total baby face when he was giving Roman Reigns that beatdown, doing the crotch chop and kind of looking at the crowd, and he was kind of playing to the crowd. So I just think he just gets in that. He just can't help himself. He knows what he needs to do to make himself look good, and that's just the way it is. Like, could you imagine if it was some other wrestler that took that kind of a beating from Roman Reigns, like, after, was it TLC or Survivor Series? TLC. And then showed up at NXT, that week without a scratch or any makeup or anything to sell it. Like if Dolph Ziggler did that and showed up at NXT ringside or whatever, he'd probably have a ton of heat on him. And, he'd be jobbed out even, twice a week instead of once a week like he is right now. So
Lana put on her personal Instagram just, a picture of her and her real life boyfriend getting engaged, and apparently still has some heat over it.
It sounds like it's more than just that, but
yeah.
But yeah,
hey,
that's definitely that. I think that helped trigger a lot of it.
I'll talk about Lana here in a minute. Yeah. Something I wanted to ask about. Do you think that the Shane McMahon Undertaker match and the Roman Reigns Triple H match are going to be woven together on the show?
No, I don't.
Not at all.
No, because they're two of the three matches that people really care about, and I think weaving. You mean weaving how? Like one match it directly leads into the other, or the storyline kind of
the storyline more so, like Reigns plays a role or Triple H plays a role in that match. And obviously, if that were to happen, Triple H or Undertaker Shane would probably have to go on last.
Well, okay, so. What is your prediction right now, and what happens in those two?
I don't know. I have maybe a hypothesis that Reigns, he's getting booed anyway. I don't know how he somehow gets involved. But see, here's the thing: if he costs the Undertaker if he costs Shane McMahon the match, he's gonna get booed. If he costs Shane McMahon the match, then Vince McMahon is still in control. But then again, WWE never lets a little thing like sense screw up their television, right? So I don't know.
What if you had – so the common sense ending is the obvious ending, which isn't exciting, which kind of sucks, is Undertaker beats Shane in the Hell in the Cell. And then the final match of the night, Roman Reigns beats Triple H and, has his big WrestleMania moment, celebrating, fireworks are going off and that whole deal. Now, what if you had it where Shane beats the Undertaker, like John Cena, or you have someone return and help him get the win, and then you have in the main event you have Cena and Shane help Reigns then go on to beat Triple H and kind of signal like Triple H is gone, Stephanie's gone, keep them off of TV for a while. And then you could do a whole storyline with Shane and Vince after that.
I am open to any bit of change that could happen. I just want something different. I was saying on Twitter today, I can't even, it feels like it's been so long, I can't even remember WWE landscape with Orton, Rollins, Cena, and Cesaro now. And those 4 injuries, man, those have really hurt the WWE. And they need something different. They need something to change.
Yeah.
I just don't know what it is.
Right. Or, yeah, Yeah. Something we've been saying it for a while now. Something needs to change, and it's not happening. But yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of different directions they could go with this main event, and I just hope they don't stick with the obvious.
Yeah, me too. By the way, Lana, I've seen her do 2 wrestling moves, a Bella Buster and a spin kick. Did you see that spin kick, the gif of it from main event?
I did not. No.
She throws a hell of a spin kick, Raj.
She's an athlete. I mean, she's a good athlete.
I gotta say, and I've seen this before. Not always doing moves relates to wrestling, because there's a lot more. If somebody could get up the wrong way and it'll make the match look terrible. But her couple of moves that I've seen look pretty good. So I have a feeling that they will protect her in this match and she won't be exposed too much.
Yeah, I mean, if they've got that many other people in the match, it should be fine.
Also on SmackDown, obviously we had Dean Ambrose running amok. He beat the hell out of the Social Outcasts with the kendo sticks, which I thought was awesome. It helped out Dean Ambrose. It shows, he is able to beat up 4 guys at once, albeit jobbers, with a kendo stick, which plays into the street fight thing. Also, they had the Social Outcasts talking about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I want to ask you, who do you think wins that?
I hope it's not Braun Strowman, but I that's who I kind of think they'd go with, because I think they want to go with someone that they're looking to go to the next level. Then again, they haven't really been doing much with Braun to even kind of.
Not since that backlash over the Undertaker thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. Mark Henry would be a kind of a good feel good ending. So if it were up to me, I'd go with Mark Henry.
I would love that, either him or Bray Wyatt, probably, because they say that they have some big plans for Bray after Mania. Why not kick it off with that? And wouldn't be surprised if it came down to the Wyatt family Final 4. I think that would make a pretty cool moment. Especially maybe that leads to a split. Strowman, I don't see what Strowman offers right now that Harper and Rowan don't, and that Rowan doesn't really offer anything. I don't know. It's hard to tell what's going to happen with that match, and that's a good thing, because the last 2 years we haven't really been able to tell. People talk about predictability. We haven't really been able to predict who's going to win this battle royal the last 2 years.
Yeah, I remember last year everyone thought Damian Sandow. And I think about how much has changed since that year. Last year. It's been a long year for Damian Sandow. But I would say that the obvious choice the year before Cesaro was the obvious choice, and he won that. So if Bray Wyatt's in it, I would definitely say he wins it. Otherwise, I'd go with Henry and go with the feel good ending. Have it, and then have him. Say he retires after that match, or it's the last one.
Then he beats up John Cena.
Yeah, right.
One of my favorite all-time promos. After that promo happened, I showed my non-wrestling friends that promo, and they knew who Mark Henry was from the Attitude Era, and they thought it was fantastic too.
I really like that angle when they did it, but I just thought it was so obvious that Henry was turning on Cena. I mean, Cena's just standing there,
Yeah. Why else would he be there?
Exactly. If he's doing his retirement, Cena wouldn't be there. But
well, I don't know. John Cena's character is a complete scumbag. I mean, he's still Zack Ryder's girlfriend. He never helps anybody that helps him. His character is a total scumbag, but it's like a low-key scumbag. It's like the one that wants all the glory, but that's not how that just shows you how WWE books baby faces, though, which is another thing.
Let me ask you this, kind of back to Triple H and Roman Reigns. What if you had Seth Rollins return and help Roman Reigns win? Would that, I think, just him returning would get a big pop.
Yeah.
And him helping him, it might help save the main event. And if he's close to returning, if he's already working out and stuff, you don't have to have him do much, just get to the ring. Maybe don't
I've said that all along. Like, what if maybe he just tore his meniscus? I mean, the man power bombed a 320-pound human being after doing it, and then did a pedigree. it's hard for me to believe he could have even pulled that off without an ACL. But Seth Rollins is not human.
Yeah, I think that
takes that on it, you guys.
It's the on it, and I think that would be a cool ending. Seth Rollins coming back and helping, kind of a twist from last year.
I would really like before that for Triple H to give Rollins the reason to say Sheamus couldn't get it done, Randy Orton could never get it done for the Authority, Seth Rollins couldn't get it done for the Authority, so I had to do it myself. Take that little shot at Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
That way he has that built-in excuse. Also, that builds a little goodwill towards the Reigns-Ambrose-Rollins situation. Do you think they're holding off Rollins-Ambrose-Reigns for WrestleMania?
No. I think it's too it's been too long for it to be a real draw. I mean, you can do it.
I think it still can.
I don't think so. I think it's a Raw main event. They didn't. I thought they did it on Raw.
Main event?
Didn't they do it on Raw?
No, they've never done that match. They've never done the Shield as a triple threat before.
Yeah, I just think it's been too long. I don't see it as a WrestleMania main event. I could see it as a pay-per-view main event, but not Mania.
They had it as a 4-way one time, and I think Orton was involved, and they did the whole triple power bomb.
Right.
Also, so we had the WWE booking Cena as a babyface that was not over as a babyface for what, 10 years? Are they going to do the same thing with Roman Reigns for the next 10 years, or will they ever pull that trigger?
I could see them doing that. Either they give up or they keep pushing him as a babyface is what it's looking like. I still, turn him heel, try it out. You can turn him babyface later. If he gets hot as a heel, it makes it that much easier to turn babyface. So
there was once a man named Rocky Maivia who did that, and he ended up okay. Now, granted, he had a lot more charisma than the guy we're speaking about, but it worked out for him. And if the people want to boo him, just let them boo him.
Well, John Cena. John Cena was white meat babyface for a while, going nowhere. Then he got the hip hop gimmick, turned heel, got hot, and then they turned him face, and here we are. So
you can't lie to the crowd that is making noise. They see through it now. It just doesn't work like that. We had Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles. Raj, why can't they ever save anything for a pay-per-view?
I think people just forget about it so quickly that, or they assume that people do that, because they could come back to Owens and AJ at SummerSlam and people will still be excited about it, even though they had the match on SmackDown. But I wish they wouldn't. I wish they'd save stuff like that. And
a good thing I like to point to, Nakamura versus Styles at Wrestle Kingdom. It felt huge because it's like, oh damn, I haven't seen this before. And let me watch this.
And when you can use that as part of the build, just telling people that they've never squared off before makes it seem that much more special, And Hulk and Andre, they had wrestled many times before WrestleMania 3, but when they did that build-up, they made it seem like that was the first time they were wrestling. And people don't need to know all the past history. Just thinking that it's the first time that they're squaring off makes it huge.
Speaking of AJ Styles, he pulled off a torture rack power bomb in this match and a Yushi Giroshi, and I think I know how he did it, Raj.
The Bootios?
No. DDPyoga.com/Wrestling Inc., which AJ Styles uses, and you can get a great deal on the Max Pack at DDPyoga.com/Wrestling Inc. I've used it myself. It helped me prevent myself from getting a surgery, 2 bulging discs in my neck. Helped me out big time. Stretching your spine is very important. AJ Styles had an injury that they thought was going to keep him out of Final Battle and Wrestle Kingdom a few months ago. Did some DDP yoga, posted about it. He loves it. You will love it too. Also, what you'll love, the Resurrection of Jake the Snake, available on Vudu, Amazon, PlayStation Network, Google Play, iTunes, all over the place. Fantastic documentary. Has gotten great reviews. Raj loves it. I love it. Also, if you are in Dallas the weekend of WrestleMania, Sunday morning, DDP is going to be doing a live DDP yoga workshop. Highly encourage you to check that out. Go over to ddpyoga.com and check out his appearances page for more info. ddpyoga.com/Wrestling Inc. You order anything else from there, send them a little tweet, tell them Wrestling Inc. sent you, support the show. Also, we talked about Seth Rollins earlier. He's coming back. We don't know when, but he's taking that on it, you guys. And I bet you he's using WrestlingInc.com/on it. New URL, WrestlingInc.com/on it. Save 10% on Alpha Brain. Another supplement that Raj and myself use. We're working 366 days a year. Raj is going to be on the side of WrestleMania. He's going to be seesawing those right into his mouth. Alpha Brain all weekend long. We've got podcasts going on. We got media coverage, all kinds of stuff. And if you go to WrestlingInc.com/on it, you can get a free brain health protocol ebook. You can use Shroom Tech, that Dolce Way, New Mood, all kinds of great stuff. WrestlingInc.com/on it. Save 10%. If you don't like the product, send it back. They won't ask you questions. They won't say, hey, why didn't you like this product? They'll probably be like, damn, why didn't you like this product? You're crazy. You don't want to be a Superman like Seth Rollins, but they'll give you your money back.
I've been using it forever. It's at least been 4 years since I've been using Alpha Brain, and I notice a big difference from the days I take it to the days I don't. So I've been highly recommending it for years before they were our sponsor. So it's always great when you have a sponsor and it's someone you've been using for a while.
Yeah, I like that. You all won't see us pushing products on here that we don't use, like some of the things, like, you know what? If we push Dollar Shave Club, you better believe this would be shaved, my friends. I would not send you to something that I wouldn't use. Either that or we would just have Raj push that Dollar Shave Club. Look at him.
Yeah, I
mean, cleanly
mean,
shaven.
I need to shave every other day or I have, almost a full beard. So
see, I work from home and I was like, that's one of the benefits, but I don't want to look too unkempt. I get my hair cut every few weeks, but my hair always sucks. So, man. But fun fact, in a previous life, in the Civil War era, I used nootropics to help the North win. Nootropics are what Onnit uses for Alpha Brain. So I've been using it since the Civil War era, Raj.
Yeah, there you go.
And even back then, I used WrestlingInc.com/on it. Questions, guys. I see a lot of people asking stuff about Sting. What was your favorite Sting match, Raj?
Oh, man. I would have to say that one at the Clash of Champions with Ric Flair when he went to a draw. And that up against WrestleMania 5, I think? Or was it 4? I think.
It's crazy to think they used to do that. Growing up when I did, it's crazy to think that happened.
Yeah. I think it was WrestleMania 4 that they were up against. And I lived in New Mexico and we didn't have pay-per-view. So I watched the Clash of Champions and I was just kind of hooked. And because 5, I think, was Flair and Steamboat. But anyway, so that one was, that's one that always stands out in my mind.
I wish I could remember when this was. I think maybe 95 or 96. There was a Sting match with Ric Flair that went on the main event of WCW Saturday Night, and it carried over into the next week. And I thought that was so cool. I waited for it all week to watch the second half of that. Don't know why that ended up being my favorite. Probably because just that week at school, I looked forward to it so much. And really, that's one of the reasons you watch wrestling, to be excited, to look forward to something. And that always stuck out in my mind. I thought that was really cool. Do you have a favorite Sting moment?
I don't know if this counts as well. So there's a few things. First, Sting and Flair wrestling on the last Nitro, and the end of Nitro closing with them, and just everything seemed so crazy at that time. Like everything was possible, but everything seemed scary too. Like, are these guys going to lose their jobs? But that visual of Sting and Flair standing there and not knowing what was going to happen as far as the future of the business, which direction it would go. And, it kind of sucked how it ended up going. But and then, he was part of that match where Hogan turned heel and with the NWO, Hogan was revealed as the third guy, and which changed wrestling in the 90s and launched WCW into their hottest period ever. And then one moment that always stands out was Sting, and Eric Bischoff, I thought, did this great, where, they were teasing that Sting would be joining the NWO. He had no alliance. And for months and months and months, he would just be in the rafters. And then when he finally made that decision and destroyed the NWO and the place just went nuts. I mean, that's one moment I'll always remember.
Was it the one where he beat up all of the NWO? That was my favorite moment.
Yep.
I love that one.
That was awesome.
I love that one. Somebody says, will On It make me a super genius? Hells yeah, it will. When is Triple H going to retire? Any thoughts on this, Raj?
Not anytime soon.
From the ring, I assume.
Yeah. I mean, looking the way he does, I mean, how old is Taker now? 50?
God, 50-something.
50-something. Triple H, 46. Less wear and tear because he's been part-time quite a bit longer than Undertaker was. So I think he's probably around for at least another few years.
You think he's ever going to hold the title again after this?
I don't think so. I don't think this was the plan for him to hold it. I mean, it wasn't the plan for him to hold it. Well, it might have been because Rollins was supposed to lose it to Reigns, and they were building to. I'm kind of forgetting. The original plan was Rock and Triple H, and then that kind of fell through. And then I forget if it was Reigns and Triple H or Seth Rollins and it was Seth Rollins and Triple H was the plan, and then I think Reigns and somebody else. So yeah, the plan wasn't for him to win the title, but Seth Rollins getting injured and Reigns getting booed, kind of changed things. But I think this is the last one.
I always thought Triple H having that last title run, using his power to get it, and using that in storyline was going to happen. I just didn't know when. I think this is it. I really do. Somebody says YouTube is pretty tame. The trolls are gone. I've had pretty good experience on YouTube lately. They're not the heels anymore, Raj.
Yeah, they're
I think they're tweeners.
They're definitely a lot tamer on the Wednesdays and Thursdays though than the Mondays.
Yeah.
Are just nutty.
With the Vince Russo fans.
Yeah.
I had one that said he hated me because my face is bloated. I've had this nose broke 3 or 4 times, guys. It's gonna stay that way, unfortunately.
Man.
Unfortunately. Let's see. Are the Hardys coming back? I doubt it.
I'm sure at some point.
No time soon.
Yeah, no time soon. But for the Hall of Fame, I could see Jeff definitely. I could see both Hardys going in the Hall of Fame, maybe even together. But yeah, but I don't know if I see them wrestling again in WWE.
Yeah, it would be hard for me to see Jeff Hardy wrestling in a ring. He says that he only knows about 2 or 3 concussions he's ever had. No way in hell that's an accurate stat.
Yeah, but think about Tommy Dreamer, and they brought him back.
Yeah,
the Dudleys. So. But Hardy signed with TNA. Let's say TNA something happened, and hold on, sorry, I'm getting up. If something happened, they weren't in business, and he was completely, free and clear, and I think it would probably be worth their while to sign him.
Somebody says Triple H looks like he takes a huge amount of Onnit products. It's funny. He actually does. He does take a lot of Onnit. That is not a sales pitch. That is not a joke. Triple H legitimately takes Onnit products. And yes, he looks like he takes a lot of T+. I'll say that. What is the Wrestling Inc. podcast schedule for WrestleMania, Raj? Have we figured this out yet?
So definitely Friday after NXT, Thursday, then Monday after, the Monday after Raw, and then after WrestleMania. I think that's
so the same schedule, except we're moving the Wednesday show, which covers non-Raw stuff, to Friday. That way it can accommodate NXT. So yeah, fun stuff there. And of course, after WrestleMania.
Need to trim that due.
Right. The Onnit comments are killing me. Can the WWE somehow resurrect and revive Bray Wyatt to make him relevant enough to challenge Reigns after WrestleMania 32? I am so tired of Reigns and Wyatt.
I'm tired of Wyatt as a heel. It's just They could do. I mean, they were building Bray up for Lesnar and not having him lose or anything, but it's just so cold now. Them planning for him to be the hottest heel this summer. Good luck with that, because it didn't really knock him dead last year, and he's just been doing the same shtick as a heel for way too long. And I think he needs a babyface turn to freshen things up a bit.
Do you think the Undertaker Shane McMahon match should close out WrestleMania 32 instead of Triple H Reigns?
Well, it depends which way. If it goes the way the conventional booking way, with Undertaker beating Shane and Reigns beating Triple H for the title, I'd probably close out with Undertaker and Shane. But I just hope they get creative with it.
I don't think they're going to turn Reigns heel. I don't know how they can turn Reigns heel against Triple H, who is supposed to be the heel. I would put that on last if that were the case. If Shane McMahon somehow wins, you want that as your lasting image. Holy crap, WWE's changing, perhaps. But I'm of that old school thought that I like the title match being on last.
That's how I am too. But it's just Reigns winning. I think it's a bad note to leave on, because I just think it'll just be a lot of indifference, and you don't want to leave your big show with that. And
you
put the money or something, you do something in that main event. You have a big return. I don't know if you have Cena return. You do something, then you could save that.
Well, you put the money in the bank on Sheamus and use it 4 months ahead of WrestleMania, and these things happen. Which I would hate to see them use the same thing 2 years in a row, Money in the Bank. But
they can't. The money it's been cashed.
Yeah, I know, but I mean that's what happens when you put it on a guy like Sheamus.
Oh, that would be the worst ending if they had Sheamus cash in. Oh. But it's interesting. What are they going to do?
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
It'll be interesting to see what The Rock does.
2 weeks out. We don't know.
He's not wrestling. I don't think. I mean, my guess is The Rock, is reading landscape and sees that Roman Reigns isn't, hot going into Mania, and so he doesn't want to put himself, in his corner, knowing that situation. Yeah. And so that being the case, then what do you do? If you do him hosting again, you've done that.
I had a dialogue with somebody, and it's complete fantasy booking, and there's no way it's ever going to happen. And he says, "Why don't they have like that same type of thing, the Hogan Austin thing, but it's Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Austin, and Cena, and the Social Outcasts come out, and they take a stunner, rock bottom, super kick." And whatever John Cena is capable of doing. I was like, yeah, that'd probably be fine.
Yeah.
But that's not the big thing. Like, what is the big thing? Which haven't they calmed down on saying the big thing, or at least The Rock?
Do? Since that week, they haven't really said it. So, you could have Rock be the referee for Shane versus Undertaker. And you could have Rock cost the Undertaker the match as his way of getting rid of the authority, like he wants, Shane to get the power back, or you even have Austin do it. So, that's something, but you got these big names with no role right now, at least officially. So
that booking is so weird. Undertaker versus Shane McMahon. And I'm sure it'll be fun, but so weird. Will the Usos versus Dudleys become a table match at Mania? I hope so. It'll make it a little more interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not interesting, but it'll make it a little more interesting.
Yeah, I guess.
Here's the question. Is Golden Truth going to be added to that match?
That's what I was wondering. It kind of seems that way.
I know it'd suck. It would make it a little more interesting.
I don't know about that. Goldust can go, but I think the match right now, at least it should be a good match. The Usos are good in the ring. They're a little stale, but actually a lot stale. But as a match, it should be good. I think Goldust and Truth just waters it down, and the action won't be as good. But I could easily see them adding them in.
That's a big shame to me because the Usos got themselves over a couple of years ago during the Shield era and all that stuff. They were getting great reactions after they were just dead in the water for a couple of years. So I always thought a lot of that, respected them a lot for being able to do that, for switching it up, recognizing that they were stale back then. They got to recognize that they're stale now too, and change something up.
And it's not just them, you know. A lot of it's booking, you know. I mean, it's pro wrestling. Turn them heel, you know. When someone's getting stale, especially when they're talented, turn them heel. Split them up.
But here's how WWE does it. They have them turn on Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
That's how WWE would turn the Usos heel.
Yeah, probably.
Is New Day defending their tag titles at Mania? Yeah, against League of Nations in a 4-on-3 handicap match. What do you think about that?
I think it's weird that they already had the New Day beat the League of Nations twice, and then they get a title shot. That makes no sense. But
this is 4-on-3, though.
Yeah. Did they officially say it's 4-on-3?
Yeah.
They did? Because I know they sent that image, but it didn't say 4-on-3 handicap match.
Well, I'm assuming that anyway, because he said, or Sheamus said on Raw, the 4 of us against the 3 of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could see them doing a title change, but you know, they're turning the New Day, and the New Day's first big match is babyfaces to beat them. Seems like a bad idea. So, you know, I think the New Day go over. I think it's Barrett probably taking the pin, and Barrett probably gets kicked out of the group.
Did not like the New Day giggling off that 5-minute long post-match beatdown from Raw. Did not like that. I don't like it when John Cena does it. I don't like it when they do it.
Right.
Show just a little seriousness.
A beatdown should mean something.
I agree. Let's see. What else do we have here? How are the Outcasts ever supposed to get over if they can't take out one guy who already is over? They're not supposed to get over.
Yeah, they're basically just supposed to be 3MB with an extra guy. So it's don't get too upset when they're getting, you know, treated like you don't want to call them job guys. You saw all the shit that Josh got for calling him that, but yeah, it's don't expect too much from the social outcasts.
I'll say this for WWE. At least they're doing something with the likes of the Dudley Boys, the Usos, Social Outcasts, Golden Truth. They are giving them something to do on TV to fill up all this time they have. It's still not enough. It's not enough to fill it up, but they're doing something.
But they treat it like it's meaningless. So they're giving them something that the viewer sees as pretty much meaningless.
But I mean, yeah, I guess. They could have Midian running naked across the screen again. It could be worse.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Any chance WWE brings back Brock Lesnar again this year since the roster seems kind of thin? Well, later this year it won't be thin, but they are, I'm sure.
Wait, what's the question? Bring back Brock Lesnar?
Again later this year. I'm sure they will.
Yeah. He's, you know, he signed a multi-year contract, and he's got more appearances than he did before. So yeah, for sure, he'll be back a lot this year. He won't be back every week. He'll be similar to last year.
Judah Neville's injury, could it become Owens versus Zayn 1-on-1? I hope so.
No, I think they already have Ziggler and Miz pegged for that match. So I think that's the way they're going to go. And it might not be the worst idea, just because I just don't know how many of the casual fans care about Sami Zayn yet. And if he would get a cold reaction in Dallas.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think that kind of waters it down. The Miz and Ziggler and them trading wins and losses every single day, or every single Monday and Thursday, like clockwork.
I'd rather see, a 4-way with Owens, Sami Zayn, Jericho, and AJ Styles. But
I would too.
But
and let that go 35 minutes. I don't give a damn.
Yeah. Make it a ladder match.
Yeah, and Ziggler Miz could be in the Battle Royal and make that mean a little bit more, because them in the Intercontinental title match with Zayn and Owens doesn't make it mean more, but them in the Battle Royal, at least Ziggler, makes it mean a little more.
Yeah,
And
it's like last year when they put R-Truth in their Intercontinental title match. It just takes away from it, when you've been beating a guy forever, and then he's in the same match as Daniel Bryan. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of ridiculous.
a couple of people proposed WrestleMania matches: Shawn versus Raj, and Shawn and Raj versus Vince Russo and Jeff Lane. I don't know who Jeff Lane is. I see you all comment about him a lot. I assume that he works with Vince on the brand. That's what I'm going to assume, because that's where I think I've seen it. But let me tell you, me and Raj would job Vince and Jeff Lane out. That's just how it would happen.
Absolutely.
It just how it would happen.
We take on it, they don't.
That's right. And you know what? For I think $400, we can hire Virgil to come to ringside with us, because he's charging people $400 to watch wrestling with him now. Have you seen that?
Oh gosh.
Oh man. Fantastic interview with Sam Roberts. I watched the whole hour, Raj. It was brilliant. I
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm just saying we'd have Virgil on our side.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who's winning the Battle Royal? We talked about this a little bit earlier. I think Bray Wyatt. Somebody said Rob is the guest ref. Well, we've got him in our pocket. Here's another one. Will Triple H turn babyface at WrestleMania? I think the crowds react to him like he already is one.
Yeah, I just don't see where you go with that. But I mean, if they had Shane win and Shane turned heel, and they did something like Shane and Vince against Triple H and Stephanie, I guess you could do it. But I think fans would just naturally gravitate to Shane over Triple H and Steph. So I don't see it happening, but stranger things have happened.
Ooh, here's a good one. Now that the television landscape has changed a little bit, what is the number 2 company in America? Wrestling company, I presume. Raj, your thoughts?
Gosh. I mean, I think you'd have to go with ROH. Just because they do pay-per-views and live events, and
they sell well at them too. They sell them out.
But if you look at I mean, TNA, from the numbers that we know, Impact still draws more than ROH and Lucha Underground, but they just don't do anything with those numbers. They don't bring in fans that are gonna pay to go to a house show. So it's tough to really say. It depends what you kind of base it off of.
And I'm not saying Lucha Underground is the number 2 by far or number 3, but I did some math, and up until this big jump that they saw this week, if you compare the number of homes that Lucha Underground is in to TNA and their numbers, Lucha Underground is very close based on
perspective.
Yeah, from a rating perspective like that. So, and I've been impressed with their numbers this year, consistently around 100,000 for something that started a year and a half ago, is not in HD, has very little clearance, does not run live events, and didn't really have a big name, household name star until Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, but how do you keep putting millions of dollars into something that's getting 100,000 viewers each week?
I agree.
That's the dilemma. They need a big Spanish channel like Univision to start airing it and let it catch fire, because without that, it's kind of just treading water. 100,000 viewers, it's a lot better than they were doing last season, but it's still not something that's going to keep you in business for the long run.
Here's a good one. One more before we go, and a very good one. Who was the favorite to win Money in the Bank this year, Raj?
Man, that you go ahead. Let me think about it.
I think it's going to be a heel. Probably Kevin Owens. If they want to shoot him up in that stratosphere, I'd say Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I could see Owens. You could always do Styles and mix it up a bit with a babyface winning. Because when was the last time a babyface won Money in the Bank? Was it John Cena?
I'm gonna look. I'll look really quickly.
I think it might have been Cena. Because cashing in Money in the Bank is, unless you're doing it fair and square and saying I'm going to cash it in at this pay-per-view, it's kind of a heel move to do the surprise cash in. So that's why it's always better when a heel has it.
Let's see. Randy Orton won in 13. He was a heel, right? Ziggler also won in 2012. By the time he cashed it in, he might as well have been a babyface.
Right,
But
he was a heel when he won.
yeah. So yeah, that's real.
Yeah, he was a heel when he cashed in. Although the fans were going nuts for him that night.
Cena in 2012, and then before that, Daniel Bryan won, and then yeah,
right. And so every time the babyface won, they well, Daniel Bryan, was he a heel when he won?
no, because he cashed in on Big Show after that Mark Henry match. I think he was still a baby
heel. No, he was. That's when he was turning heel. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
man. And then got beat by Sheamus really fast. All right.
It's weird for me to even think that Daniel Bryan was a heel after being such a fantastic babyface. Yeah. But guys, we will be back after Raw on Monday with Vince Russo. Check out my interview with Dan Severn today. He said the word fisticuffs in the interview and asked me if I had testicles. And it wasn't in an insulting manner. So props to Dan Severn for a good interview. Hopefully he fights at your fight this Sunday. Tank Abbott pulled out against him, Raj, again.
He did. I missed that.
Yeah. Tank Abbott pulled out. Ken Shamrock pulled out. Dan sent me a giant letter earlier that I'm going to post on the site eventually where he just eviscerates Ken Shamrock.
I'll post it
eviscerates him. Yeah, I'll post it tonight. So be on the lookout for that. You all seem to have liked that interview. Obviously, WrestlingInc.com/on-it, DDPYoga.com/WrestlingInc. Become a super genius. Become a superhero. I'm pretty sure that's all you have to do. You don't even have to train as a pro wrestler, and you can be like Seth Rollins if you do those two things, Raj.
Right?
I think that's how it is. But anything else you want to leave the fans with, Raj?
It is official 3-on-4 handicap match. New Day defending the titles against League of Nations. And we'll be back on Monday.
Catch you guys later.